Stadium. Oh, that battle in the centre is going to be fantastic, isn't it? And then Henry Lever and Finley West on the wings with Will Bowley at fullback, a superstar from our last time here at StoneX Stadium. On the bench for Seaford College, Nathan Potts, Oscar Williams and George Gibbons, and they are coached by Liam Doubler. So here we go then. This scrum's been taking a while to get going, hasn't it? The tension in the air here at the North London end of town as Perry puts it in, and another big shove, but advantage Seaford College comes to nothing. But good pressure there from Seaford College. They've got a big pack, and that's going to be important for them tonight. We've seen in previous streams with Seaford College, their big pack has caused damage when they can get on top, and that's going to be crucial against Berkhamsted, because Berkhamsted arrive here at Saracens, whom of course they're so linked with through the academy system. And Berkhamsted are unbeaten so far this season. They've won 6 and drawn 1. That draw coming against Harrow, an absolutely epic encounter. Enough of that though, and over to tonight's matters, as Max Wiltshire from Seaford College prepares to throw in for this lineup. Max Wiltshire, who's moved in season from number 8 to the hooking berth. So a new skill set for him, but he looks as though he's in control. Johnny Green, of course, the danger man at the line out, and he's the man that goes up at the front. England under 18 player Johnny Green. Ball squirts out there and Perry has to move it. And our first little taste of that action in the centres, as Luca Fai, another England under 18 player, put in a big shot there on the Seaford College inside centre. Henry Boyle, who's been likened before to an Irish Manu Tuolangi. So scrum Berkhamsted, a bit of a scrappy start to this game. Both sides sort of feeling the atmosphere. I don't know if you could hear it across your screens as kickoff began, but there's a lot of Berkhamsted supporters over in the far stand from us here. And they are making their presence known, but it's Seaford College making their presence known early on with another scrum penalty, this time on the 22. Will they line up a shot at goal? There's certainly some debate, but it looks as though Green has signalled to go to the corner. And so they have. And Seaford College going for the jugular early on. They're in the ascendancy. Why not? A 5-metre line out. And Green leads his charges up towards that line out. Well, we know what to expect here, I think, don't we? Green, surely the target man, and then bring it down and have a big old rumble at this Berkhamsted pack. They bring it down safely. It's a tricky move. Round the front comes Sunray Jellis, an absolute metronome of a player, loves his martial arts as well. Big Berkhamsted defence though, and they've turned the ball over, and a bouncing away comes Fai. Pass back, and Raubenheimer hoist it high in the air, but it's to the danger man Bowley, stepping right, jinking his way through. Held up in the tackle though, and Berkhamsted have cleared their lines up towards the 10-metre line. Pearce, wide, back to Perry. Perry's caught well in midfield though. James Isaacs with the big tackle. And you can see this aggressive defence from Birkensted forces another turn away. And away goes Litherland down the right-hand side. Cover tackle comes in from Bowley. Fantastic work from Litherland down the right-hand side. Wearing the 11 shirt, but kept tearing down the right wing that time. And we've seen early on that aggressive Berkhamsted defence, what difference it can make. And suddenly, within no time at all, we go from a 5-metre line out on the Berkhamsted line to a line out 7 metres out on Seaford College's line, which they do tidy up nicely. Brought down safely. That man Green again. I apologise, Harry Foster that brought that one down. Berkhamsted have done well to hold us up though. And the ball couldn't be released And Birkhamsted secure the turnover inside Seaford College territory. And it's that pressure in defence soaking up the ball in the maul. And Oliver Webb's Chargers have a brilliant attacking scrum opportunity here. Little to no blindside to work with, but acres for that dangerous backline, including that terrific centre partnership of Tobias Elliott and Joe Panacci. Elliott, of course, an England under-18 player and surely to be capped soon this season. A real danger man in this team. Scrappy ball, but Berkhamsted get it. Through the hands. And it's out. Panensi moves it wide. Westcott sails over in the left-hand corner. And from their own try line, Berkhamsted have found a way to get themselves to the opening score of this game. It was simple hands in the end that did it. Scrappy ball at the scrum. Dealt with well by Montero, who got it out to his fly half, Robenheimer. He got it into the danger man Elliott's hands. The defence flocked to him, but he got the ball away to Panensi, who darted around, gave it to Westcott, and Westcott showed a clean set of heels to the defence to power over in the left-hand corner for a 5-0 lead. Well, just a wonderful opening score that from Berkhamsted School. From their own try line, turnover in the midfield, cleared long, turnover again on halfway, get themselves into the 22, turn the ball over at the maul, win the scrum, and then move it wide through key bits of defence, and they found a try from it. And from the roars of the crowd that I'm sure you can pick up over the microphone, Robenheimer lands the conversion for a 7-0 lead to Berkhamsted. Well, the challenge now for Seaford College is to respond to that try. They had the early running in this game, really. Much of the opening 2 minutes or so taken up by their pressure at the scrum, winning a couple of penalties, moving themselves up to the try line. It's just those turnovers, once they try to go a bit wider, that cost them. They've got to maintain that confidence in their game. As Webb taps the kickoff back, and it's secured by Birkhamsted here in the red and blue stripes. Out. And it's a big carry from Stanford, but just spilled. Offside, though, from Seaford College. And those are the sort of errors that they can't afford to give as they look to mount this early comeback. Ball doesn't quite go. Seaford with the chance to clear their lines. And they do. The penalty from Robenheimer was enormous, absolutely enormous, but just missing his touch, offering Bowley the chance to clear his lines and get Seaford up to their own 10-metre line. Isaacs ready to throw the ball in, sends it straight to the middle. Berkhamsted looks to go wide early doors. Elliott carries through, hard carry, well dealt with in midfield though from Seaford College. And it's quick ball. Berkhamsted looking to shift it as early as they can off the first couple of phases. Now it slows down. A tight carry from Charlie Keith, the tight head prop. And the chip over the top. But again, a penalty against Seaford College. High tackle, and it's unforced errors really that are costing Seaford College territory. Berkhamsted injecting real pace into their attack. And it's Elliott, I apologise, who's been kicking for touch and goes for touch this time. And what a wonderful touch that is. With barely any space to work with, he's moved that from the 10-metre line to the Seaford College 5-metre line. And Birkhamsted with a huge chance to go 2 tries clear. The game not even a quarter of an hour old yet, and Berkhamsted exerting real authority early on. Cheeky line-out move, almost gets them up to the try line. Montero goes digging, but he's going digging because Seaford College are illegal. And his side earned the penalty. And they go for the scrum. Clearly those 2 early penalties not phasing Berkhamsted. Opting for the scrum from the 5-metre line here. If they can get a bit of a right wheel on here, they've got options everywhere. Webb at the base, that electric backline, free and ready to go. Montero puts it in, but I think it's turned over in the scrum there. Cleverly picked up by Seaford College at the base. Westcott scampers back to cover the backfield, but it has come back Berkhamsted's way. Robenheimer goes dancing through. But it's turned over on the deck. I think it's the big man, Johnny Green, stepping up for his side. A crucial turnover for Seaford College. And Bruno Perry clears his lines, the ex-Harlequins Academy fly half. Sent it high into the stands to try and relieve some pressure, but they've only got themselves up to about the 22-metre line. But Max Wiltshire will throw in for Seaford College. And in green, they have the target of the century in the line-out. And it goes his way, brings it safely down. It's sacked by Berkhamsted, though. Expertly done by the Hertfordshire side. Sent high by Pearce, the vice-captain. And a fantastic chase from Finley West. Berkhamsted, forward nudge though. Green, like a limpet swarming through. We come back for the penalty. I'm not quite sure what for. Referee perhaps suggesting that the Berkhamsted catcher was taken in the air, but it's a close run thing that. Elliott doesn't quite catch his kick correctly though, and it runs dead. No, is that a goal line dropout? A 22? Scrum back? A scrum back. We all used to know these laws off by heart, didn't we? But new laws, year away with COVID, all takes a bit of getting used to still after all these months, doesn't it? One thing that doesn't change though is a scrum on halfway, right hand side of the pitch, the whole field free for this Seaford College side to attack. And in the likes of Passam, Henry Boyle, Will Bowley, fly half Bruno Perry, they have some of the finest attacking talent in the country if they can unlock it. Sunray Jealous does his part, and now they do move it wide, but it's messy. It's messy. Scrappy ball spilled, and they'll come back for the knock on. There was so much promise, but not quite to be, and now it's Berkhamsted with that attacking platform. Well, we've already seen this evening what Berkhamsted can do off a attacking, scrummaging opportunity. This one further back towards the halfway line, but the way their backline's set up, they have no intention of doing anything other than running this. But it's well tagged at the back from Joe Pearce, causing chaos, causing the knock-on from Charlie Montero. Nothing that Montero could do about that. Just clever scrum half play from Joe Pearce. The vice-captain doing his vice-captain's effort there. And we settle down for another scrummage. Scrummaging, a bit of a theme of this evening's game so far. But unlike so many games you see at the top end, this isn't because of resets and collapses and free kicks here and free kicks there. It's the pressure that each of these two sides are putting each other under. It's causing errors as Seaford College go charging forward, but Berkhamsted get the hook. Elliott moves it wide. Penensi straightens up. Dabbed through. The chase is on. Bowley tidies up though, scampers away. He'll put boots to the ball if he can, but he's just drifted wide. But we saw in just a flash there, a flash of energy, what Will Bowley can do given half a yard of space. Remember early on last month, it was Bowley that scored that late try against Haileybury to secure a draw here at StoneX Stadium for Seaford College, with our cameras having a look at that at half time. I would say go and have a look at the highlights from that one, see a wonder try from Will Bowley. As it is, Berkhamsted with the attacking opportunity again. Line out comes through, but Green storms through again. He is up for this game. I apologise, it wasn't Green there, it's Harry Foster. Very much up for this game. Storming through on that line out. Berkhamsted though do well to retain possession. A big carry in midfield. Rumbling carry. Charlie Keith making yards for fun there as Elliott fires it. Missed three. Oh, and the referees just called it forward. I'm level with that, and it looked messy, but I'm not sure it was. It was a scrappy pass, but I don't know if it had quite drifted. As it is, the referee was far closer than us, calls it forward, and we'll settle in for another scrum down. A good opportunity here to mention our partners, Coach Logic, helping us with analysis, and you can get £100 off Coach Logic services by using the code NextGenXV, all in capitals, NextGenXV, for £100 discount with Coach Logic. We'll be doing loads and loads of stuff with them over the course of the season. There'll be some Monday analysis sessions for those that want them as well, and a 15% discount available too. As this game, the tension keeps rising up, but it still remains quite scrappy. Penalty Seaford College and a chance to pump it deep. Bowley gets them up to about the 22-metre line. And really a first true attacking opportunity for Seaford College since those opening minutes with that 5-metre line out that they couldn't quite capitalise on. Wiltshire sends it to the tail. Foster does well to gather that in. It's another clever line-out move actually from Seaford College. They're using a lot of tricky moves. Perry fires it wide, but it's intercepted. Elliott races clear. He galloped that in with one hand. He's racing away. Bowley will chase, but Elliott's going to get there. Tobias Elliott out of nowhere with the interception. Oh, the space was there for Seaford College if the pass had gone to hand, but Elliott read it like a book, stuck a big mitt out, gathered it in, and he's raced 65 metres downfield. The chase was on from Bowley, but Elliott was wise to it, snaked this way and that, And the lungs burning, the calves getting all lactic acid, he still managed to just creep over the line. A wonderful bit of ingenuity from Tobias Elliott to read that play, stick a big mitt out and finish it off for his side. Well, we said early on in this game, didn't we, that Tobias Elliott was one of the men to watch. That centre partnership between Elliott and Panensi. And I'll tell you what, he's more than delivered on that with that interception. As Robbenheimer bangs over the conversion, it's a 14-0 lead for Berkhamsted. About 22 minutes gone in this game. And Seaford College, really from 2 attacking positions, have conceded their 2 tries. A tricky obstacle facing them now. But there's plenty of time in this game for them to come charging back. Of that, there is no doubt. Berkhamsted just so clinical. 3 big defensive plays that move them from a line out on their own 5-metre line to scoring their first try. And then an intercept when under pressure and a gap opening up wide to allow them to score their second. It's just very, very clinical, very, very intense play from the Hertfordshire side. And there's a reason that they've made my top 5 school teams of the weekend so many times already this season. Perry stabs it through. It's a free ball. They have advantage. We'll come back for the knock-on. Important here for Seaford College to just try and keep their cool. 2 tries behind, but both actually have come from their attacking positions, as I was saying. They've got another attacking position here. Scrum on the 22 on the left-hand side. It's exactly where you'd want it. You can get a right wheel on, you free up your number 8 and the whole back line to use the field. And if they can just retain the composure around that, understanding that there's plenty of time, they're only 14-0 down, and they've all come from Berkhamsted just being clinical on defensive plays. Scrum's unsteady, we'll come back for another. Berkhamsted though with real power on that scrum, coming through the loose head Alex O'Driscoll's side. No relation to Brian as far as I'm aware. Pierce stands over the scrum, holds steady, ball's in. Seaford struggling to get it back. Penalty Berkhamsted. Well, I don't like to keep making the same point, but once again it's under pressure in their own territory that Berkhamsted come up trumps. We saw in the early scrums in this game that it was Seaford College getting the scrum penalties, but when under pressure near their own try line, Berkhamsted step up, and Elliott takes them up almost to the Seaford College 10-metre line. Seaford College making a few changes. Of course, one of the keys in schoolboy rugby at the moment is the half-game rule, which means that every player that's in a matchday squad gets at least half a game. What that has meant, in addition to so many players getting good game time, which is the aim of the law, it's meant a great deal of coaches are spending a fair bit of time trying to work out who's on, who's off, and just how long they've played. Everyone seems quite happy now, though, other than the referees, with a wonky throw there from Burke. fast hands in midfield. No fast hands though from the big man. Will Stanford thumps it up through midfield. Robenheimer getting a lot of touches now. Ooh, O'Driscoll looked for the offload, didn't quite go to hand. Stays in Berkhamsted hands though. Relentless pressure now from Berkhamsted, who are using fast hands between backs and forwards to great effect here. Another short carry there. Charlie Keith this time, he's put through a shift so far, hasn't he? Robenheimer on the ball, snaffled in midfield though. Elliott takes it to the line and gets it away to Westcott. Ball is out, and that's clever work. Harry Foster asked the referee if the ball was out. Got the nod, and he snaffled Montero and gained his side 5 yards. As Ben Westcott comes off the field with what looks like a dislocated finger. Seaford College earned themselves a penalty, and Will Bowley looked to go quick but just spilled it. Referee gives it as a knock-on, and Birkhamsted, having had a penalty against them, now have the scrum as an argument to say he never actually touched it with his hands. But the referee goes with the knock-on, probably fair enough, and perhaps it's just Seaford College getting a little bit too desperate to get back on the front foot in this game. Time for composure and calm, something Berkhamsted have been very good at so far in this game as they set off this scrum. An interesting setup as well. What a start to this second half from Berkhamsted. That is a wonderful, wonderful start from Berkhamsted. And if Seaford College were talking at half-time, that is exactly not what they would have wanted to see. Berkhamsted scoring almost straight from the kickoff. And apologies if you missed any of that. A couple of technical faults up here in the gantry at Saracens StoneX Stadium for this Under-18 Schools Cup Southwest B Round 3 fixture. Somewhat of a mouthful, that. As is Cameron Raubenheimer, who stands over this conversion, just edges it wide. First miss of the night for him. As Seaford College go 19-3 up. Apologies, Berkhamsted go 19-3 up early in this second half. Well, what a start that is from Berkhamsted, who probably spoke at half-time about capitalising on their early advantage from the first half. I'm sure they didn't quite expect to be able to do quite such damage early on in this second half, but that they did. And Seaford College now with a long way to dig themselves back. 19-3 down right at the start of this second half. Berkhamsted retain the ball from the clearance. Berkhamsted as well have made a few changes. Almost immediately as they scored that third try, they rotated a few bodies. Seaford College as well have rotated a few in. Winners of this game, by the way, will be heading to Monmouth for what is the regional final in Southwest B. Schools Cup's divided into 8 regions: North A, North B, Midlands A and B, London and South East A and B, and Southwest A and B, and this is Southwest B. Winner of tonight will go to Monmouth in Wales for the regional final. Winners of all 8 of those regional finals will then be drawn into the national quarter-final stages. And from there, you know the way it goes. Quarter-final, semi-final, and the big final day out at Twickenham Stadium. Perhaps more importantly right now though, if you're Birkhamsted, the possibility of an unbeaten season looms. Only a handful of fixtures left before Christmas, with Stamford, RGS High Wycombe, Haileybury and Dulwich College left on the agenda for Berkhamsted, along with however many games they get through in this cup run. Seaford College meanwhile, Canford, St John's, Hurstby Point College and RGS Guildford still to come this season. Possibility as well for Berkhamsted, as we wait for a ball to come in, of them claiming the Daily Mail Trophy title too. Of course, cup games don't count towards that, but they currently sit 12th in that table, and a few more victories to their name, and they'll be climbing that. They're only 0.1 or 2 or so of a point from being well into that top 10. Seaford College on the attack, run it flat. It's the big man Henry Boyle getting on the front foot, but then driven back in the tackle. Luca Fay, possibly that may be pronounced. I apologise. Luca Fay with a thunderous tackle. Of course, he as well is part of that England under-18 training squad. Elliott, Isaacs and Fay. A lovely little exchange there in the midfield from Seaford College. But Elliott, Isaacs and Fay for Berkhamsted, all part of that England under-18 development squad, as is Johnny Green for Seaford College. And it's Seaford that are on the attack, looking to get back into this game. 19-3 down they are. Plenty of time left though. They stab it through. They had advantage coming as well. Offside in the midfield from Berkhamsted. And Seaford College on the attack. A few of you may be starting to move across to this game from our earlier game between Kings Worcester and RGS Worcester over at Sixway Stadium, the Modus Cup. So welcome to anyone from there. Seaford College here taking a tap penalty through skipper Johnny Green. Now they're on the rumble, 19-3 down, looking to come back in this game. We've only just started the second half. There's plenty of time for them to come back into this, but it was a hammer blow conceding that early try to Berkhamsted at the start of the half. Brilliant defence from Birkensted. They turned it over on their own try line as Seaford College reached for the line. Berkhamsted grabbed it back, but they played it on the floor, and the referee awards a penalty, possibly in that scenario, lucky not to be a penalty try. And a second penalty in close succession for Seaford College underneath the Berkhamsted sticks. They look to go wide quickly, but the referee pulls them back, not from the mark. And I rather fancy that the skipper Johnny Green will have another rumble. He's got to keep his body low on these rumbles. This time he does. Low, gets the legs pumping. It's well defended by Berkhamsted. And this big Seaford pack rumbling away, but it's messy ball. And Berkhamsted, we've seen how ruthless they are in defence. They'll be scrapping all over this, but it's well dealt with by Seaford College, just to merely retain possession. As Sunray Jealous, he's a real threat in this Seaford College team. A shining light for them at number 8. Bowley darts through. The magician does well to get the offload away, but it was a glorious break. And Berkhamsted just a bit over eager in the tackle. But we come back for the penalty in midfield. What a bit of magic that nearly was from Bowley. There was nothing on for him. So he just put his foot on the gas and ghosted through the gap. And he is becoming one of the stars of this schoolboy season, isn't he? Seaford then. Another line out. More possession deep in Berkhamsted territory, but Berkhamsted have defended magnificently throughout this game, but particularly in this last 5-10 minute period. Couple of penalties given away, but if you don't succeed, if you don't concede rather, then you don't mind conceding a couple of penalties. Seaford to the tail, tapped back. Green fumbles but manages to gather it back in. Pearce. Slightly isolated runners from Seaford College. The support gets there just in time. Pearce is buzzing around those fringes. And Bruno, Harry Boyle, Harry Boyle, all on his own. There was nothing on. But the big centre, we saw him do this against Haileybury. Does it again against Berkhamsted. Bounces off the first tackler. Bounces then off his right foot to get on the outside and scorches around for a wonderful try. In the left-hand corner, the conversion's a tough one. But out of nowhere, Henry Boyle gives Seaford College a chance. Bowley over the conversion. What a try that was. Almost nothing on, and he just bounced his first man, darted to the outside and got himself around. Bowley's conversion just doesn't quite make it. But if that doesn't give Seaford College a bit of belief, nothing will. Fantastic from Henry Boyle. Well, it's been an action-packed second half, hasn't it? Berkhamsted with the score almost from kickoff, and Seaford respond with huge pressure for a 5 or 10 minute period, eventually getting the score. But now it's Berkhamsted looking to counter. Elliott bounces off one, taken down by two. They've got numbers wide, but it's well slowed. Good work from Seaford College there to slow the ball down. And from a possible 6-on-2, the numbers managed to even up by a crafty bit of handiwork at that breakdown from Seaford College. But it will be Berkhamsted with the line out, just inside the Seaford College 22. James Isaacs to put the ball in. Launches it to Casper Jack, but it just goes a bit long and it's claimed on the floor. Joe Pearce with the box kick and lands it in that box. Lovely feet. Charlie D on the wing for Birkensted. Woodmansey at scrum half now as well, and D. Elliott points wide, racing away now down the right hand side. Daniel Barnett held just short. The fast hands in midfield releasing Barnett down the right hand side. And as Berkhamsted went for the rumble over, the ball was held up and we'll have a goal line dropout. One of those new laws we're so often talking about. Bowley rushing to look for a bit of space. Now the trouble is no one's really sure. Are you supposed to take these from under the post? Are you supposed to go from where it was awarded? Bowley goes from under the post, hangs it high, Possible drop goal attempt? No. I thought Robbenheimer might have been watching George Ford, but instead he's been watching Marcus Smith as he dances this way and that. Wonderful tackle on Westcott coming in from the wing from Finley West. Oh, that was magical from Robbenheimer. So nearly created a try for his side out of nothing. Birkensted shift it wide and over with a heavy carry goes Charlie Keith, but that was all about Cameron Robbenheimer counter-attacking from the goal line dropout. He caught it, he called for it, he wanted that ball, and he took half a second to scan the field and then stamped his foot on the accelerator, rounding one, rounding two, releasing Westcott, who was brilliantly brought down, but the momentum was too irresistible from Berkhamsted, and Charlie Keith went powering over for Berkhamsted's fourth try, and they are surely now starting to march towards that fourth round of the Under-18 Schools Cup. Robbenheimer with the chance to convert. He's been absolutely magnificent this evening. Just goes wide from Robbenheimer. But Birkhamsted move into a 24-8 lead. What a powerful performance it's been from Birkhamsted. Intense in every way. Robbenheimer just comes off the side of his boot, and Seaford College have the opportunity to go for it. Well, Seaford College may as well throw a bit of caution to the wind now with some of these line-outs and set pieces. 24-8 down. Their cup run on the line. Why not throw the kitchen sink at it? They do the first bit. Collected by Green. Set up the maul, but it's pretty stationary. The referee says it's been used once. Ball goes to deck. They do manage to get it back though. Pearce gets it through, but it's bouncing, squirting, a difficult one for Westcott, who does well eventually to clear his lines. He clears them deep, almost up to halfway, but it's a countering opportunity, and that man Bowley, he's got the opportunity, releases it late. It's well dealt with in the end by Berkhamsted, but Seaford College still on the attack. Dart through. Oh, darting feet, absolutely out of nowhere from Seaford College there. Deep into the 22. Pearce gets the ball away. Nathan Potts, I think that is, on the rumble. Pearce again, goes digging. Just too flat though in the passing there. Turnover from Berkhamsted, but they've gone diving over the ball. And it's a scrum, Berkhamsted. A penalty, rather, to Seaford College. I thought we'd come back for the earlier scrum from the knock-on in midfield. But instead, the referee says the penalty overrides it. Well, there's a bit of confusion here about what we're exactly going for. Are we going for a scrum? Are we not? It looks as though we are going for the penalty, and Seaford College are going to bang it into the corner, and why not? They need points now at this stage. 24-8 to Berkhamsted. Playing, of course, for a place in the Schools Cup 4th round, away at Monmouth. Monmouth, who've been so good this season, only lost one time. And even there against Marlborough College, they were short of a few bodies. To more important matters here, though, as Seaford College get on the rumble. 5 metres out. The ball crabbing across the field, but Sunray Jealous breaks away well. Seaford College looking to keep it tight. Looking to use the power in their pack. Jack Wardman, of course, at tight head. A junior world's strongest man competitor, but Birkhamsted have turned it over, and are now turning it on as Elliott bursting free once again. Can he go from long range twice? He certainly can. Tobias Elliott from almost their own try line. Tobias Elliott. Nobody can bring this man down, it seems. It was a turnover on their own try line, and you have to give hats off to Charlie Keith, who knew that the break was on but gave it away to the faster man early on. And I think it was Robenheimer who got on the ball and then gave the quick offload to Tobias Elliott. And there was just nothing anyone could do about his combination of pace and strength as he held off the charging defence coming back to tackle him. 2 huge handoffs, and then the acceleration just to scorch away. And that is his side's 5th try in this game. And once again, it's a try from under pressure in their own half. They have been lethal in defence and even more lethal on the counter-attack. And the conversion slotted expertly as they move out to a 31-8 lead. And if it wasn't already, it looks as though now Berkhamsted will be going through in Southwest B. And talk of Southwest B, I suppose, gives me a chance to talk a bit about the Schools Cup and how very strange it is that Berkhamsted and Seaford College from Hertfordshire and Sussex, respectively, might be playing in the Southwest group. But with so few teams these days entering the Schools Cup, it's really all about filling up as many of those spaces as possible throughout those regional variations, leaving the Southwest B section looking very much like a south section, shall we say. Bowley shifts it wide now. Boyle makes good ground. As has been throughout the game, Seaford College in possession, and really they've had the bulk of the possession and the bulk of the territory. But Berkhamsted have just been so lethal on the counter. And their defence, as we see again here, Sunray Jealous, such a threat, but is held up by his opposite winger, Daniel Barnett. It just shows you small men putting big hits in on big men. And now Berkhamsted counter up, putting pressure on as Pearce manages to do well to tidy up at the base of the ruck for Seaford College. And the scrappiness on the deck there results in a Seaford penalty. And a few emotions running high, unsurprisingly. Well, if you watch this game back and you didn't know the outcome, you'd be thinking, Seaford College look alright here. But Birkensted have just been clinical beyond belief. And you're starting to get an impression of how so many teams will have felt facing them this season. Suffocated in defence and then sucker punched on the counter. Seaford College with another attacking line-out. They've had so many, it seems. That one not quite straight though. Berkhamsted will have to put into the scrum in their own 22. And you wonder now, at 31-8 up, might they have a go from deep? Certainly no reason why not to. Taking their time over this one though with the put-in. Referee wants everything nice and stable, and quite right too. Woodmansey on now for Berkhamsted. Cleared high by Elliott, but we come back for the penalty. Seaford College just a bit too eager at the scrum. A little quiet period here at Saracens StoneX Stadium. Such a wonderful venue for schoolboy rugby. We've had athletics on here beforehand. There was something else going on earlier this afternoon, I think some mini rugby. And we finished the day up with some U18 Schools Cup action. That's the beauty of this artificial surface here up at the StoneX. Then of course the winner of this one, looking like Berkhamsted at this stage, is likely to be back here in March for the semi-finals. It's been a while, but traditionally speaking, the semi-finals have taken place here at Saracens. Although in the final season before COVID, they were at the host school of those semi-finals as Sunray Jealous claims the ball off the tail of the Berkhamsted line-out. He's been threatening to do that for a while, running between that 9-10 channel, and finally he claims it. He's deserved that for his efforts. Bowley gets it wide. Green tips it on. Pierce still buzzing about that breakdown. But Birkhamsted capitalised, spilled ball in midfield, and Birkhamsted have the turnover ball. They wanted to go wide, but they've been pulled back for just a little spill on the deck, and we'll come back for the earlier scrum. Well, Seaford College once again trying to get on the front foot, but just couldn't quite do it. And we have, once again, a scrum down. And the question begs, has an artificial surface on a dry night ever had quite so many scrums? We'll never know the answer. What we do know is that Oliver Webb can carry off the base of the scrum. Webb, the Berkhamsted skipper, making great ground. Scrappy ball off the ruck though that he set up, and we're almost back to where that scrum began. Robbenheimer darting through once more. It's all a bit ones and twos now from Berkhamsted. So sensibly they look to the kick. Touched in flight though. Seaford could have a chance to counter, but the ball doesn't quite go to hand. Tidied well though by Harry Lever, and his side will have the advantage. Hoisted high. And we'll come back. Well, just a bit of a mistimed tackle there, and sparked a few emotions. Here at Saracens StoneX. But what that gives us the chance to do is to talk about some of the things that have been going on in this match. It's been an absolutely superb performance from Birkhamsted so far. 5 tries to their name. 3 in the first half. Couple more in the second half. Sorry, 2 in the first half, 3 in the second half. And they have simply been ruthless on the counter-attack. It's been quite spectacular to see. Almost as though they thrive on the pressure that gets put onto them, allowing them the chance to come scrapping back. And we've seen those 2 cracking length of the field efforts, both from Tobias Elliott. That intercept in the first half, and then in the second half, just a wonderful, wonderful bit of play on the turnover inside their own 22. They charged clear, and it was Elliott again who held off the 2 defenders and then streaked away for his second try from within his own half. And his handshakes and apologies all around here, as is so often the way, even when tensions get a bit high. Everyone wants to see their opposite man coming off the field in one piece. Unfortunately, that is the case for Daniel Barnett. He walks off the pitch looking reasonably comfortable as one can, and will restart the game with a penalty to Berkhamsted inside of their own half. And without too much time left in this game, Birkhamsted have the line out just inside of the Seaford half and a chance to chase their 6th try. They pull it down and they look to go wide early. Penensi. Is it his turn to go through? Oh, so nearly leaves the ball behind. And Jack Wadman tidies up the tight head prop, and that gives me an opportunity to talk to you about Jack Wadman, actually, as Bowley clears his lines. Wadman, the junior world's strongest man contestant. What a wonderful bit of trivia that is. As Westcott just overcooks his kick slightly. Bit of adrenaline on this cold night, perhaps seeping into the legs, as Berkhamsted know that time is ticking and their place in the next round is all but assured. Seaford launch it in, but turned over by Berkhamsted, and then returned over by Seaford College. Ball going toing and froing. It's been a scrappy old night at the set piece, hasn't it? Seaford still playing sensible rugby despite the deficit. As a Berkhamsted, hoist it high. That ball's going to stay in field. Ball left behind, but Bowley, almost cleverly perhaps, deliberately left it, gave himself the chance to counter, but it's not turned by Berkhamsted. Ref doesn't know what happened there, he says, and we'll restart the game with yet another scrum. It's a nice close look at this scrum, isn't it? And a good chance to see these two front rows. It's been a good contest at the scrum. Penalties either way. It's always been played pretty quickly. Joe Pearce itching to get the ball in, I think. Down they go then. Pearce gets it in. Struggle to hook it back, but they do now have it back on their side. But Birkensted turn it over. It's at Elliott's feet, for the scrums had risen just before it got to the tail. And we're looking at a matter of milliseconds there between the scrum going up and the ball getting to the back. Pearce with the put in again though. You can see the packs have reshuffled a bit. Casper Jack now on the blindside flank for Berkhamsted, having been in the second row. Tom Sunray Jealous has moved from number 8 to the open side for Berkhamsted. Once again though, it's a huge shove from Berkhamsted, but Pearce gets it away, stabs it forward. Westcott though tidies up and gets the ball deep. Seaford look for that man Bowley, who will want to counter. No, he doesn't. He pumps the ball long, pumps the ball too long, will go all the way back. Well, we've seen that a couple of times from both sides tonight, haven't we? And it's hard to say why. Is the air slightly different, the ball a bit lighter than usual? Who knows? But both sides have put a couple of kicks longer than they would have expected to. And the net result of all that is a Berkhamsted line out about 30 metres away from the Seaford College try line. And once again, a chance for Berkhamsted to go after that 6th try. But they'll have to wait a little longer. Seaford College turn the ball over at the line out. But it's returned by Berkhamsted, and they've got a chance. If they can go wide, they have the numbers. But instead, James Isaacs wants to have a go. And that, the referee says, is that a tireless game. Berkhamsted take the victory, 31 points to 8. What a magnificent performance from them. As I've said throughout the game, clinical on the counter-attack, magnificent in defence. Seaford College will just wonder what more they could have done. They spent so much time in possession in territory. Perhaps they could have tightened up the set piece a little bit. But in any given weekend, you'd expect, with that much territory in possession, that you'd be the one coming away with the points. But such was that intensity from Berkhamsted at the breakdown, in defence, in their sheer ambition to get up and off the line. They just left nothing but scraps for Seaford College to feed off once they'd got their mitts around that ball. And in Tobias Elliott, they had a man who was prepared to go the length, and he did so twice. Once in that first half with a brilliant intercept try when Seaford College looked to all as though they were going to burst through the gap and score. And then in the second half, from a turnover deep in his own 22, he was released first by Charlie Keith, then by fly half Cameron Raubenheimer. And And apologies indeed to Mr. and Mrs. Robbenheimer for however I've been pronouncing your son's surname all afternoon. But he released Tobias Elliott fantastically for Elliott, the England development squad man, to go charging in from range for his side's fifth and final try of the night to take them to a 31-8 victory. A magnificent performance from Berkhamsted. They will go through to the fourth round, the regional final in South West B. They'll be travelling over to Monmouth in the next couple of weeks, off to Wales. And the winner of that one will be through to the quarterfinals, the national stages of the U18 Schools Cup. For Seaford College, that's the end of the cup run. They turn their attention now to their regular season games. Seaford College, though, of course, already with some silverware in the bag this season. They won the Merchiston Festival ahead of half-term. And with some big games to come, there's plenty for them to look forward to this season. But for Berkhamsted, it's a place in the regional final, away at Monmouth, and a chance as well to go on and press their Daily Mail Trophy claims. Fantastic play from Berkhamsted. It ends here at Saracens StoneX Stadium. Berkhamsted 31, Seaford College 8. I've been Angus Savage for Next Gen 15. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We'll catch you very soon. Good night.